Hello, I'm Chamberlain Oso at Channels Television here in Lagos. Welcome to our show as we take you around the continent to bring you stories from across Africa.
Well, thanks, Chamberlain. I'm Vincent McCory, Voice of America, coming to you from Studio 51 at our global headquarters in Washington.
It's a new start at the African Union with the Commission's new leadership and its pursuits of stability on the continent. At the just concluded 28th AU Summit in Addis Ababa, officials agreed, among others, to accept Morocco back into the fold decades after its departure. Here's our report.
The renewed commitment of the African Union to peace and unity on the continent is exemplified in resolutions reached at the 28th Ordinary Session of the AU Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia's capital. Proof of which is the reintegration of Morocco, Africa's fifth largest economy, 33 years after its exit from the club in a row over the sovereignty of Western Sahara, a territory it claims.
We are very happy that Morocco realized after 33 years after his withdrawal from the OU that he have to sit with the Sahrawi Republic. You know, during these 33 years, Morocco have been fighting militarily. He didn't succeed to gain his this illegal occupation, and the whole international community didn't recognize any sovereignty of Morocco over Western Sahara. Now Morocco is realizing that he have to sit with the Sahrawi Republic.
There's been substantial achievement in the pursuit of security on the continent, but African leaders still advocate more efforts to accelerate the peace-building process, especially in Sudan, Libya and Somalia, where conflict and terrorism are hampering development.
There is a determination from African Union, IGAD, which remains the main player, with our support, and UN to work hand in hand. And I think you have seen the communique of a meeting that we had here with the new Secretary General of UN on this matter, and we are on the same analysis and on the same determination to act in the best way to help our sisters and brothers in South Sudan to promote this reconciliation.
Also crucial for prosperity is accountability to fight impunity, which the International Criminal Court stands for. But Africa's membership at the ICC is being questioned by some African leaders who are in support of mass withdrawal on the basis that the court undermines the sovereignty of African countries. The decisions at the AU Summit are a reflection of the focus of the continental body's new leadership, bringing optimism and expectations of what can be achieved within the tenure of the new leaders before they pass on the baton.
Well, President Alpha Condé of Guinea is the new head of the African Union, and Chad's foreign minister is the new Commission's chair. And let's talk about that with Professor Emmanuel Nnadozie, Executive Secretary of the African Capacity Building Foundation. He joins us via Skype from London. Welcome to Africa 54, Professor. Now, clearly, the new leadership of the African Union brings with it a new drive. What should they be focusing?
I think they should focus on a number of things, you know, at least 4 or 5 of them. The first one, in my view, is the reform of the African Union. The president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, presented a comprehensive report he has been working on with a team of experts on how to reform the African Union to make it more effective, more efficient, and more relevant to Africa's needs. And this is a far-reaching reform effort, and if it's implemented, I think this will really transform the African Union into the organization that will actually address the key issues facing the continent and really respond to the needs of Africans. The second issue is the issue of the elections that took place, in which, as you rightly pointed out, the president of Guinea is now the chair of the African Union itself, whereas Mr. Faki Mahamat from the foreign minister of Chad emerged as the new chair of the African Union Commission. I think their role will be to do everything possible to implement these reforms.
Well, do you think there is sufficient support for the Commission from African governments and other organizations for them to meet some of these expectations?
As you know now, the ratio of financing of the Union itself and its programs is heavily tilted towards external funding. And that is not good for African Union, and it's not good for the independence of this very important political organization. So in Kigali last year, the heads of state agreed on a new funding formula to really make sure that you have the sustainability of the foundation of the commission. So one of the key challenges facing the new AU chairperson and the deputy chairperson, as well as the new commissioners, would be how to really get the member states to rally around their organization and support it appropriately.
Conflicts and terrorism with ripple effects like illegal migration, they remain major concern in Africa. What do you suggest the AU can do better to ensure peace and stability in some of these affected countries?
I would say that Africa has made a lot of progress over these years. You don't really see those kinds of wars that were happening in West Africa, in East Africa, in Central Africa. But there are some exceptions, of course. But I think the major challenge facing many African countries now is not the kind of civil wars that you had in the past. It is just the low-intensity wars or the insecurity that results from terrorism and extremism. And that requires a different kind of approach, in dealing with it. But as I mentioned before, putting together the architecture at the continental level that will be able to deal with these things is something that is important. And I think the African Union has made a major taken a major step forward in this direction.